Okay, so hello everyone. So now you've listened to the introduction, now we're on to step number 1. Okay, so if you have now decided that yes, to be an author is for you, to be a writer, then there are some few steps I would advise you to do first. These advice, obviously, bearing in mind, is my opinion, is what I found, is what I've learned to do and not to do. So to start off, I would say first, make sure you know what type of author you are. So what do I mean by that? I mean, know who you are writing to, what age, for example. So are you going to write to up to 12 years old? Are you going to write to the young adult audience? Are you going to write to the older audience? This is very important because it depends on how you angle your story. So, for example, the younger generation or the younger ages, you obviously need to not use very descriptive sexual content, not very graphic violence, and not any foul language. Whilst the older type of market, you can. It also depends on the jargon that you speak to your audience within your book, so depending on those ages. So obviously this is a bit stereotypical now. There are people who like different type of, you don't have to be an adult to enjoy young adult fantasy books, for example, but in general, if you write for the young adult or the young generation, the description is a bit more edgy, a bit more sassy, a bit more slang, a bit more straight to the point. Obviously it depends on what genre you're looking at as well. I'll come to that. Whilst the older generation is obviously more mature, they will obviously expect more mature characters perhaps, or there can obviously be an immature character in the book, but then it will sort of be portrayed that person is an immature character. So it also depends on where you want to contact and be involved with your market and so on, but we'll get to that in a next step. So you have to then also think about where your target market can be reached and where you can see them. So are they going to be on Amazon? Are you going to be involved a lot on social media? Will you reach your clients on going out to book fairs? Because this obviously might persuade you to be a different type of author. I'm not talking about the research that you then have to do on from your client's perspective or from your reader's perspective. I'm just talking about who you want to be and what you are comfortable with when you're going to succeed in doing your business. If you are a shy person that don't really want to use social media, don't really want to engage in chats and comments online, then perhaps you are more comfortable of doing book fairs, which may work for a certain type of audience, or you know that, like, for example, Comic-Con, is maybe for younger generation or for fantasy. So it depends on how you need to think about how are you going to reach the reader, and in what sort of network will you reach the reader, and then what type of reader would that be for you to feel comfortable but still knowing that you reach your reader. Okay, and also then let's talk about your genre. So you most probably will enjoy writing your books if you write in a genre which you like reading and which you have read a lot of books and you know a lot about. So, for example, I write in fantasy and sci-fi. My favorite is sort of the epic fantasy, when I can do world building and make up different stories myself, but obviously I also do like the sort of paranormal romance, so I sort of tend to dip into that genre as well. But then also to know that depending on what genre I write in, it depends on what type of language is it. When I've read epic fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, and if someone, for example, is mean to another person, maybe it would be explained as in he turned his back because that comment didn't reach him from behind, and you can't speak to a deaf ear, or the language would be more poetic in that sense, whilst maybe paranormal romance is directed to a crowd that sort of does a swear word to tell them to you know where to put it, sort of attitude. And whilst then maybe in a romance which is not a fantasy, that same language would be something more honest and something more heartfelt, like I don't like when you speak like that to me, or something like that. Whereas obviously, and then if you go to the younger market and young adults, obviously you can't swear, and you have to, maybe that same sentence you would write in a more she moaned at his way of speaking to her and she got grumpy and she ran off, or so that is very important. Depending on what jargon you write in, it depends on how you will write your message and present your sentences and your information to the reader. Then we move on to the pen name as well. So when you have discovered all these things about you and what you like to do and what you like to read and what you like to write and how you would like to portray yourself as an author, you might want to decide as well on your pen name. So why is the pen name so important? It is important because it is how you will market yourself. It is, for example, you need to think about your pen name as a brand. So when you want to show your work off in any place, social media, book fairs, on your book cover, or on merchandise, it needs to be a logo or a name that can be used for that purpose, which is advised in many marketing books for it to be short and sweet. And it doesn't have to be. Obviously, if you use your name and your name is very long, then by all means that is what you need to do. But it could be something to think about. Also, it is said many times that if you write in a genre which is heavily directed for male and you are a female, perhaps to use your initials just to not sort of throw it in the face that you are a female, in case it will sort of turn the heads of some readers. Obviously, the same goes the opposite way around. If you write in a very female-dominated paranormal romance genre, then maybe you want to show that you are a female, and males want maybe to make the initials. Obviously, this is very stereotypically again. Obviously, there are very many men who loves paranormal romance, and a lot of female who loves epic fantasy, like I do. But this is one of the things that they say that you should think about when you brand your name. As well, that if you write in different genres, so if you write in more than one genre, then you might want to consider having two different names, writing under two different pen names, so that you can separate your market and your books, etc. Now, this is advice, and it's not what I did. So, because I have written a different, well, I write under sci-fi and fantasy, and I use my own name. I use TM Caruana as a pen name, or my name, and I have decided for me that it worked that way. So everyone needs to do whatever is comfortable for them. I like the fact to use initials, and I like the fact that it makes it short, my name shorter. Now, there is obviously the problem that I have seen with this type, because not maybe everyone would agree on having a pen name, because on some social media platforms it has happened that you have to enter your name to register and have a login, and then it's hard maybe to show a pen name. and that has made, I believe, like for example on Goodreads, I made many years ago a login with my full name, and now they could not change it to my pen name, and I had to link book. It worked, and actually the Goodreads support was amazing, and they were really nice to me, and they were very helpful, so thumbs ups for their customer service. But maybe there are other platforms as well that has this issue, so it might be worth checking that out as a pointer when you choose your pen name. Okay, so this video has been just about tips on how to think about things and to prepare yourself for knowing what author you want to become from your point of view, so that you are comfortable and you are happy with this writing experience, because that is what is the most important thing with being a writer. It's that it's your stories, you are proud of them, and you are writing them for you, but also obviously you need to be able to sell it, so you need an audience, you need to know what you can achieve and how you can achieve presenting it to the audience, and so that it can be happy. So that, because that is obviously most important, that you are having fun, because writing should be fun, because it is very fun. Okay, so this is from your perspective, and then now we're going to jump off to step number 2 in the next video to see then what you should think about when you research your reader or your customer. Okay, I hope this video was useful to you. So I'm gonna link a document below where I've summarized my few steps that's coming and this step, so that you can read about a few tips and tricks that I have learned along the way, what to do and what not to do. So you can check that out. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you will receive this booklet for free, and it might help you out with a few pointers. So I hope you will enjoy that book, as well as another little booklet that I'm going to give you as an extra bonus, but it's just a little thing to say thank you, and that is I've prepared a document, a PDF that you can print in the booklet format, front and back page, where it just outlines the things you can think about when you start writing a story with regards to character building, world building, and the few pointers within those topics, within those relevant builder points when you are making your book, so that you, when you and if you want to write a fantasy or something more complicated, you need to keep track on all these things, you can write it down in your booklet. So it's a very useful little tool that I've made just for myself, really. I use it, but I thought to share it with you, and it's just a little PDF. So I hope you will enjoy that, and the writing career tip little booklet as I made as well for you, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of the videos that is to come. Thank you very much for watching. Please, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want to leave a comment in the comment section below, please feel free to do that, and I hope that you will have a good day. Thank you very much for listening. Bye!